Killjoy, who told me Zerg units are way too cost effective. Now, that's a statement I can get behind, so let's head into this game. I'm not quite sure what their MMR is, but he did say that his opponent was the Master League Zerg smurfing, so I'm curious to see if that's the truth or not. And if so, what could our boy Killjoy have done better? If anything, of course, because don't forget, we're here to judge whether what he's playing against is Imba or if he sucks. No. This all looks very solid, to be honest. See a regular pylon timing, probe just bumming about for a bit. It's always difficult. You build that pylon, you're like, should I send my probe back to get 5 minerals and then arrive 30 minerals late to build my gate? On most maps I just like to leave my probe here, just like Killjoy does, and just kind of pretend that it's busy by patrolling it or clicking it around your pylon. It always feels bad if you have an idle worker. You always feel like you're doing something wrong, even though there's really nothing else you can do. Now our boy Killjoy scouts the drone. What's his response? Did he send down the drone to block a potential hatchery block? Now it seems like Killjoy doesn't really have any plans of the sort. Oh, straight hatchery from Ice Cream at Home. So whenever you see a drone arrive at your base, what you want to do is you want to block the area of your own nexus so that he can't attack it. So you want to still be able to expand. Now, for some reason, Killjoy, even though this drone was envisioned for about 20 minutes, still didn't really see it. He should still be able to throw down his own nexus if he's quick. Quick! No, was too slow. Wait, he instantly cancelled the hatchery and built an evo chamber. This is absolutely awful. So usually what you're supposed to do as Zerg is you build the hatchery and you let it finish as far as you can, then a zealot will come out and the pros will pull some probes, and in the last moment you cancel the hatchery and build an evo chamber on the spot. So it's even more time that the protoss can't expand. Now, usually what happens in this case is that the reaction of the protoss is so mediocre that the Zerg just wins, because Tosses haven't thought about what to do. If you do get hatch block, what you're supposed to do is you build a pylon, a second pylon immediately, get a zealot and pull 5 probes to deal with this. The reason why I say build a pylon immediately is because otherwise you're going to get supply blocked every single time. And that's exactly what we're going to see here from Killjoy, who, even though his intentions are oh so noble, Jesus, this zealot looks weird, decides to get a zealot, another probe, a gas, and I was like, dang it, supply blocked. Well, that's rough. Let me just build a pylon over here, as far away from my mineral line as possible, so it takes a little longer for that pylon to start. Now this evo chamber, once it dies, don't forget, it will spawn broodlings. So I would move my probe away, kill it with my zealot, and then micro my zealot to safety. We'll see how our boy Killjoy decides to do it. Yes. Sends the probe away. No! Doesn't micro the zealot away either. If you lose the zealot, I'm gonna be seriously upset. Okay, this is fine. Just got a lot of damage on that zealot, which you preferably wouldn't have, but it could have been worse. Now this scenario is pretty bad. As we can see, worker count is even right now for Killjoy. This was a really poor response by him, but I can't really blame him. It's very rare that you see a hatch block. So a lot of tosses aren't really ready for it. Like I said, 1 zealot, 5 probes to attack the hatchery is all you really need. Continue adept production and make sure you don't get supply blocked. Most of the time you will be completely fine. Not like our boy Killjoy here, who is now gonna be down in workers and most likely down a base as well. Oh my god, Killjoy. Forgot to block your opponent's natural as well. A true rookie mistake. But that's okay. I still have high hopes for my boy Killjoy here. He is getting, well, no tech whatsoever. Just floating a casual 450 minerals, 300 gas. Could literally throw down 2 stargates at the same time if he truly wanted to. But instead decides to just, you know, he's happy at the pace he's playing right now. 300 gas in the bank, you know, saving for the future. In case he ever needs to build a battle cruiser, he will be ready. So he has a lot of money saved up. Oh, he could almost start a mothership at this point. Oh, here comes the Robo and 2 gates and a Twilight. Realizes he has a lot of money. Still has enough money for a Stargate as well. If you're gonna get a Twilight, Robo and 2 gates at the same time, might as well add the Stargate, you know? If you're getting all the tech, why don't you truly get all the tech? Now this building position is awful as you're limiting the space available in your main base. So there's no spot for another gateway here, there's no spot for a gateway here. There might be a spot for a gateway here, but basically all these structures, they completely ruin any possibility of future gateways or future forges or whatever you have that you want to build. So this is absolutely terrible building placements. Always try to squeeze the buildings right next to each other to optimize space. It also means one pylon can power more buildings. And it's a lot easier to macro up at a couple of gateways if you have space available. Right now, imagine in a minute or two that our boy Killjoy wants to get 2 more gateways. He will have to look for space because there won't be any space on this pylon. So first he'll need to build a pylon, then he'll need to remember to build the gateways again. That'll take another 20-30 seconds, or maybe for Killjoy it will take another minute and a half with the way he's been playing so far. So this is not really what you want to be doing. You also don't want to be throwing down 4 buildings at the same time, by the way, if you're 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. You want to get your tech structure as quickly as possible so that you can get your tech as quickly as possible, whether it be an Oracle or Dark Templar drop or charge. It doesn't really matter. You just want to get it as fast as possible. Now, whenever you shade in 2 adepts, I'd always recommend to check how many units your opponent has before you let it finish. If there's more than 8 links, don't really let it finish. If there's speed and there's more than 6 links or 6 links, don't let it finish either. If you're gonna let it finish in between a little nook like this, or a cranny, a little thing where you can hide with your 2 adepts. And then don't focus the links, but just right click drones. It's better to kill 3 drones than it is to kill 4 links. Don't forget, drones are 50 minerals each, links are 25 minerals each. Now, I'm not a great mathematician, but 4 times 25 is lower than 3 times 50. Also, drones have the potential to mine more, so during the time that you kill them, these drones that you just killed won't be getting any extra income. And that's why we focus drones over links. Now we see the good old scouting drone by our boy Ice Cream. I'm not sure what this is, but this looks like a blink all in. Alright. I was gonna give some more credit to Killjoy, as the start was kind of hectic, you know. He played against something he hasn't seen before, the good old hatch block. But the moment you research Blink in a PvZ, you deserve absolutely all credits. Like, you lose the right to complain in PvZ once you start Blink, especially if you start chrono boosting it. Like, you might as well end it at that point. Gets an immortal as well. This is a build that we used to do in Wings of Liberty, and it already sucked back then. Like 7 years ago, little Kevin just entered the pro scene, thought Blink into immortal might be a cool all-in. I realized very quickly that Blink is absolutely terrible and you should never build it. Especially not with an all-in with immortals. And the same thing remains true here in Legacy of the Void. It's even worse because there's Ravagers. At least with sentries you can do something, but pure Blink immortal is absolutely awful. We see our boy Killjoy actually is ahead in workers somehow, so even though he's been doing almost everything wrong this game, his opponent has been making some slight errors in economy management as well. Hasn't really been producing a lot of drones. However, I believe he has been scouting, so he sees a couple of gateways, he sees no forge, he sees no fourth gas, and he sees a complete lack of a third base. So at this point, what the Zerg could do is just build units of 54, 55 workers and basically just sit there and let Killjoy attack into him. And I don't really see a way for Killjoy to win. I mean, his army just has no potential. This is the kind of army that is good for 5 seconds. It's like the moment your opponent sees the army, it's like, oh damn, there's a lot of stalkers. And then 5 seconds later, when 10 links pop, it's like, ah, never mind, this army sucks. That's exactly what this army is. This army does nothing. It's completely useless. And Killjoy has been doing nothing right so far. He's built tech at wrong times. He's been building porcelain. Look at this. It's this SimCity. This is better already, you see? These buildings, this one could have moved 1 to the left maybe. And you can fit 2 more here, or maybe 2 more down here. But this place has to be the worst SimCity I've seen in my life. Look at this pylon. I'm sure what he thought he was doing here. Also, whenever you do a push like this, it's nice to pretend that you want to be taking a third base. Right now, the Zerg knows for sure, alright, there's no way in hell this is going to be a third base. Like, I'm pooping on both of his expands. Like, where's he going to take the third? Over here? Over here? It's not possible. So, our Zerg stops beautifully at 55 workers. I'm surprised he is getting 2 extractors at the same time though. It seems like a bit of a wild move while you're being all in. He's also casually floating 1100 minerals. So I'm starting to doubt the claim that this is a master smurf Zerg. Now, if you are doing an attack that is as bad as a stalker immortal attack, please, for the love of God, at least bring an observer so you can clear creep. Like, these units are so bad on creep, it actually physically hurts me to watch. Now, for some reason, because Killjoy is floating 12, or Ice Cream is floating 1200 minerals, he might actually be able to win the fight. And look at his force field. What is this? Let's watch that again. I almost missed it in my excitement over this terrible attack. So our boy Killjoy here, with the 2 sentries, decides the best way to use them is to get 1 Guardian Shield and 1 Force Field. Look at what it traps, this Force Field. Look at all the units trapped over here. Look, Overseer. Overseer completely trapped by the Force Field. Oh no, just flies over. Did absolutely nothing. If you have 2 sentries and you have energy available for 2 Guardian Shields, maybe instead of using 1 Force Field which does absolutely nothing, you should just wait till your first Guardian Shield runs out and then use the second one. That way you have a longer time of +2 armor, which actually is kind of a big deal here. As there's a lot of range units. You see, Roaches, Ravagers, Queen. Guardian Shield is very good against that. Look at all these Zealots. Getting a 2 armor bonus here, but instead you put this Force Field here. Did absolutely nothing. Nice one, Killjoy. Bet you're real proud. So we see the Guardian Shield will run out. A big Stalker warp in, which at this point I honestly believe that Killjoy is in a pretty good position. Even though he's been doing very little things right, his opponent has been doing more wrong, which also, you know, is a certain kind of impressive. Now we get a big right click on this hatchery. No blink micro has been shown, by the way. This is, oh, whoa, and as I say that, here we see a single blink back, saving this Stalker. Blink, no blink, no micro, just right click that hatchery. So yeah, this is the Hail Mary play, just right clicks the hatchery. But completely forgetting that even after he clicks this hatchery, he's still on even basis and probably gonna be down in income, down an upgrade. No wait, he cancelled the upgrade. Why? Okay, wait, I'm not allowed to criticize Zerg players too much, especially when they're not sending in the replay, but why as a Zerg player would you cancel your +1 upgrade while you're floating 1800 minerals and 300 gas? Oh, I think I need some more money. But that's a story for another time. So our boy Killjoy decided, alright, if we just right click this base, we're gonna be even in bases, down in workers, and the other guy has 2 evos. Let me just lose the rest of my Stalkers as well, and then perhaps I can have another go at it. This kind of logic never really works out. This only works out if you have a better army, like a higher quality army or a way bigger army, and then you can kill the third and then you can play 2 base versus 2 base. But here your army is lower quality, your opponent has more workers, he has more upgrades, and yeah, your army is tiny. Well, actually at this point non-existent. So at this point, even though this looks really bad for Killjoy, it might still be possible. Imagine if he kills this pylon, takes a 4th gas, starts a Dark Shrine or something like that, and prays to God that there's no detection at the 3rd base so he can kill it again. He might be able to do it. I mean, supplies are still relatively close. Ice Cream is still floating about 1500 minerals, so that's nice as well for us. But instead, what Killjoy decides to do is, because it worked so well last time, he decides to just go for another attack. So here we go once again with an Immortal. About 10 Stalkers. This time we do have an Observer to clear some creep, so let's see if this boy gets brought to the fight as well, or he's just content hanging, just observing this general area. Ooh, there's creep over here. That's real nice. Glad to see the creep still there, guys. Maybe I should go into Observer mode so I can see a little bit more of the creep. You know, maybe see this area as well. That would be real cool. You guys sure you don't want me here to clear the creep on the other side of the map? That's kind of my task in this game. See invisible stuff? No? Alright, I'll just make sure this area stays covered. All good. We see your boy Killjoy moving out. Moving straight on creep, which can't be cleared. Killjoy right now thinking, dang it, I really thought I built an Observer. I wonder what it's doing. This guy over here just chilling. So we're moving straight in with those charge lots, with those stalkers. And I'm actually so well. Boy Ice Cream went up to 69 workers, even though he still sees the complete lack of a third base. Just casually builds a fourth base. This is when you know as Killjoy that you've been making mistakes, you know. It's like your opponent is respecting you so little. You went double Evo, Roach Warren, 5th Hatchery, Hydra Den. It's like 69 workers. Nice. And he still will most likely manage to hold. And still floating 1200 minerals as well. Our boy Killjoy with the Prism coming in right now. Not completely microing this army. As you see, these Immortals have mainly been targeting down this hatchery. So let's do a little mathematics here, alright? So how many roaches do we have right now? We have 12 roaches. A hatchery has 1500 HP. Is that correct? I think that's correct. 1500 HP is what I'll say. So let's say about 1000 HP is gone. That would mean that 1000 damage that could have been on roaches instead is on this hatchery. Now a roach has 145 health. 1000 damage is about 8 roaches, maybe 7 roaches. So this hatchery, if it dies in the end, that will be about 10 to 12 roaches that could have died. But instead, it's a hatchery that died. Now, let's do some complicated mathematics. If you have 11 roaches and you lose 10, you have... 1 roach left. So if we would have done perfect focus fire, which I understand is impossible, but even close to perfect focus fire, we probably just would have killed every single roach. We would have had 10 stalkers left over, 5 zealots left over, and 2 immortals to fight 3 ravagers and a roach and a queen with a single transfuse. Instead, what we're doing is we're fighting these drones with half of our army. 5 stalkers are bumping into these spines. We're losing more and more units, and we also lose our prism. Oh no, we don't. We managed to keep it alive actually, because he forgot to send a bow with a third one, but Killjoy leaves it to still get hit by the third Ravager. And right now we're arriving at the hardest part, which is static defense, the nightmare of every player, except of Killjoy apparently, who just straight blinks in, walks forward, tanks a couple of bile shot while he's at it as well, and gets absolutely destroyed by this roach army while he has Immortal Stalker. Casually floating 1600 minerals as well. No prism on the way, still no third base. And this surely has to be the end of our hero Killjoy, who right now, even though he still has a lot of money so he can produce an army, he's practically mining from 1 base at this point. Yes, okay, 1.5. Still has 4 mineral patches here. There's still 6-7 patches in this base. And once again we see Ice Cream starting the upgrades, getting the Hydra speed. Finally Killjoy realizing, hey, perhaps this third base is valuable. Only 12 minutes into the game, so perhaps a good time to take it. Observer spotted that as well. Like, hey, there's creep over here, guys. Might want to kill that Overlord. Killjoy decides to finally do that, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, Ice Cream is just casually adding 13 drones. Already up 20 workers. Not really bothered by that. He's just really playing his own game. Continues spreading creep. Our boy Ice Cream is having a great time here. He's getting his lurker den. Some extra upgrades. Wouldn't be surprised if he throws down a 5th base. It's like doubling the workers at this point of Killjoy. Which just means the army supply of Killjoy is rather close. Because, sure, he's down a lot in supply, but about 40 supply of that is drones. He's really only down 10 supply. Now we do finally have a Templar Archives on the way. We're still lacking a Forge, but I mean it's only 12 minutes in the game. Who needs upgrades, am I right? We finally have the Observer joining the main army as well, which is a treat to see, as that's not very common with our boy Killjoy here, to have the Observer with his army to clear creep. Now let's see if he's getting Storm or if he's just going to get some Archons. Most of the time you don't want to make it too complicated for yourself and just keep your army immovable and thus just build some Archons. If you don't know where the hotkey is for Storm, perhaps it's best to just use Archons rather than High Templars. Now we have 6 Lurkers on the way. We do have an Observer with the army. Sadly, we also have 20 Stalkers or so. This is what, 14 Stalkers? 13 Stalkers, so this isn't looking too hot for our boy Killjoy, as Stalkers are absolutely awful against Lurkers. Usually you just want to get Zealot Charge Archon or Zealot Charge Archon Storm. Hell, I could even see Disruptors work at some point in my life, but I'm not a fan of it. 1/2 finishes for our boy Ice Cream. This is gonna be a close to impossible fight for Killjoy. I mean, his army is complete garbage. Even without being down upgrades, this fight's gonna be extremely difficult against 11 lurkers. I mean, he has 11 lurkers. Our boy Killjoy has 11 zealots. Like, that's a different kind of comparison. 3 more lurkers on the way as well. Now, these boys only, of course, have 8 range, as it's after the patch, and it's pre-upgrade. You do see 40 more links in the way, and here come the lurkers. Let's see what the reaction is of Killjoy. Does he pull back? No, he decides to tank it for a little bit. He's actually doing a lot better than I thought. I thought he wouldn't kill a single unit, but I think I already seen 2 or 3 Ravagers go down. I think that's another Roach that goes down. Still 11 lurkers, so maybe 1 or 2 lurkers went down. I mean, this has to be it, right? That absolutely has to be it. I don't really know. Yeah, Killjoy GG's. Fantastic. Well, Mr. Killjoy. I am not quite sure what to say. You stayed on 2 base for 12 minutes. You never built a forge. Your SimCity looks like it was made by my 4-year-old estranged daughter. And you microed like a wet tea bag. So I would love to say that lurkers are broken. I would love to say that creep is too strong, but you didn't even attempt to clear it with this observer. I'd love to say that drones are too easily built, but you actually did pretty well in economy in the early game, even though your reaction to the proxy hatchery was awful. So that really only leaves me one option, and I hate doing this, I really do. But you suck. You suck. I'm sorry, man. You suck. Alright, boy, that's gonna be it for this week. Is it Imba or do I suck? We'll be back next week with another Imba or do I suck. Tomorrow, of course, a new Alpha Star video. I love you all. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you boys next time. Bye bye.